before we start the next Grantha. Dhyanam was a very important, as far as I am concerned. I felt it was the most important Grantha, where we had covered quite a lot of studies in that, in fact. Not only informations, lot of studies are there. Lot of studies in the sense that which has to be studied, those which have to be implemented, those which have to be remembered, those which have to be practiced, and they have to be perceived and achieved. We have to find according to that Grantha, where even though over and above that Grantha, we have covered various aspects from various scriptures. The purpose is not deviating from the Grantha. The purpose is that to establish a truth, to establish a jnanam. Normal human need lot of supporting informations and supporting parameters. With the intention of that, various chapters and various informations and various principles have been added to that from various important granths of Shastras. They all put together helps us. The purpose is what? Why we study? The purpose is that we should perceive the right thing. We should attain the truth, that which the Shastras as well as the Gurus, they want us to reach. So in order to reach that, we need all these paraphernalias, the parameters. So the Grantha in which we take us to that status and that stand, from where we can perceive all this without failing. That's very important. Without failing, so that we can go further in order to attain and achieve the Brahma Sakshatkar, the Brahman. At last is the Karma Mukti, the cycle of birth and death. The cycle of birth and death, many will think that the human need not to exist or the world will not exist. It is not that. The process of birth and death of that individual has to be stopped, in the sense, he being an Atma need not to perceive a Sharira in order to execute the Sat Karmas in this universe. With a Sharira and Mana, one is only fulfilling his karmas, Swadharmam. Is that what he is fulfilling? That what he has accumulated from the past, what he has got expectations of the future, both together is suffocating him, and he would like to escape from that. In fact, the right word, in fact. In order to find an escape from that, that's called mukti. I would put it as escape. It's an escape only. Because one is trapped. I would call it as, one is trapped now with the load of the karmas, with the load of the prarabdha, with the load of the sancheda karma and agami karma. One is trapped. There is no other way. Even though one wants to get mukti, everyone wants to get mukti, in fact. Which Jivatma doesn't want mukti. Even a small insect would like to have mukti. So the purpose is mukti. At last the purpose is mukti. So that means we are trapped. But this trap, even though the language is not right, Vedantically everything is an experience. Vedantically everything, you are born in order to experience and then exhaust those karmas. So that, because that is a process, it's a mathematical calculation. Unless you prove the sum and then get an answer, you will never know what is that meant for, what is that calculation meant for. So you have to prove that sum stage by stage and achieve the results, not directly achieving the result. The similar, it's absolute mathematics. Vedanta is also absolute mathematics. That's why it is known as Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means letters. Sankhya Yoga, the meaning of Sankhya Yoga is that through the karma you attain the krama mukti, karma mukti. So when you are executing these karmas, then you gain the knowledge of that. You gain the experience of that. And by knowing and by experiencing it, you are absolutely convinced, you are absolutely sure, and you are absolutely confirmed, you are absolutely established that this is no more required for my escape or for my mukti or for my liberation or kaivalya. So, neti principle, naiti principle. Each and every human being today doing so many karmas. Many people ask me if everything is destined and if everything is there in the karma and a man is born in order to execute his karmas, why not he finish his karma and go away? Why is he repeating his mistakes? How is that mistakes are being repeated? We will be coming to that. Somehow I made a note, few notes here. So I thought before starting a grantha, this is absolutely necessary, is what I thought. I don't know after knowing it, I don't know how you will think. And this is what it is necessary, that one experiences and then liberate ourselves. That's called liberation. In liberation, what called? What is that liberation? Liberation means swatantrata. There is no more shackles on you to bind. Today we have a shackle to know. What will happen tomorrow? What did I do yesterday for having all these sufferings? These are all common questions we have. These questions are never answered. Throughout the life, he keeps on answering, he keeps on questioning this. He never gets an answer. You see. Why? Why? Because he doesn't know about it. He doesn't know, he doesn't remember about it. So what happens? In order to gain that, he needs a liberation from that entanglement. That's why I called it as a trap. A trap that what have I done for all this that I am happening today? So, okay, you are telling me that I have done the past karma. So what did I do to have so bad life, so good life? Whatever it is, not only bad, good also. What will happen to me tomorrow? Will I be having the same fate? No. These are the questions bothered, I think, each and every human being. At one point of time or other, this has bothered them. Swatantrata is not there. That's what I am telling. You see, the liberation is not there. You are not at a free will. You are always entangled with these sorrows and the sadness, or the entanglement of this question, unanswered questions, absolutely not clarified, not absolutely. The purity you are not wanting to attain, even though you are doing so many things according to Shastras, okay, Dhanam, Sarvadal Pradhanam, Kanya Sarvadhanal Pradhanam, so many things you are doing, keeping on doing, but still at the background, what did I do for all this in the previous Janmas? What people say, why do I have to face all these things? I am the only one who is undergoing all these problems. Look at others, they are all enjoying. I am the only one who is a sufferer, the worst man in this world. Is what bothers us, you see. What happens? What I am there? I am trapped in those thoughts. What will I be tomorrow? Another fear. Fear of what I will be. These are the two things which bothers. That's why I said we are trapped between these two. I want a liberation from this. How do I get a liberation? Shastras and Vedas and Maharishis and Tapasvis through Shruti, they have attained this knowledge to tell us, look, through the process of execution of karmas dharmically, you will come to understand what has been done by you. Because while I am doing it, I will know what I have done. For that one has to have the jnana. Because normally what happens? You keep on doing what you are doing. You see. And then, why? Why am I not able to? Again, another question. Because this bothered me also sometimes. Why? Okay, I do agree with whatever you are saying. While I am doing this karma, I will do it dharmically and then progress. But have I escaped or have I got liberation from my thought? What did I do in the previous karma to have this experience? That has not been answered. I am only doing the karma and just going ahead. That has not been answered. How will it be answered is what I. Normally what happens, even though, that is why they said, there are three kinds of disciples. All I have told earlier, I am only repeating all that. Just putting back again the same thing, no? So that you put it in order, you see. Uttama, Madhyama and Adhama Shishyas. You know the explanation, so I don't go into the explanations. Three Shishyas are there. Uttama, Madhyama and Adhama. They, what happens? Even though they got an opportunity, look at that again. They are called as Shishyas, no, but they got an opportunity, but still they are not in a position to connect themselves with the Jnanam. Who is a Guru? Guru is an embodiment of the Jnana, according to our Shastras, and proved an embodiment of this. No? So when this Jnanam is necessary, what is necessary? Jnanam is for what? Jnanam is necessary in order to identify what have I done and what am I doing and what I am supposed to do or what will I do. So these are the Prarabdha, Sancheda, Agami karmas. Now how to identify them while executing? Now we cannot go back and rectify what has been done. There is no way. So what has been done is done, so only thing the rectification can be done now, at this, that means Sancheta karma, that means now we can do it. You remember I have told so many times, explained it in detail, that whenever we want to purify our, what is that we have to have the purification of mind in order to attain the jnanam. Upasana is required for attainment of jnanam. A strict, disciplined path of spirituality has to be walked through. Disciplined in the sense it is not an army discipline saying that left, right and then move and this way, move that way. Not an exercise. Not a physical exercise. Here in Vedanta, what is discipline? Discipline is not that getting up at 5 o'clock or do this every day and do that. That's another discipline which is concerned with the materialistic way of living. Okay? That discipline, what we understand, that discipline. It's not a parade. It's not a discipline which is ordered and executed. What is discipline normally? What has been told has to be done. Whether you have told or somebody has told. That okay, I must have, whether I am willing it or not, I have to do it. Is what the discipline, what we understand. Am I right? Yes. I am not talking, Vedanta is not talking of that discipline. This discipline in Vedanta is telling that in order to achieve that Swatantrata, in order to achieve that jnanam, to understand what have I done, what will I be doing and what am I doing, and how to get out of this and then how to get the liberation from here, that jnanam, in order to attain that jnanam, I will have to follow a certain process. It may vary from one person to another person. It need not be same. It's not an en masse and order that this has to be done. It is not wanted by anybody. Guru is not telling that, hey, tomorrow you have to be a Brahma Sakshatkari. Which Guru has told anybody? No one has ordered anybody to be a Brahmajnani or a Brahma Sakshatkari. Every Guru has said that, look, This is what is called the principle. If you want to attain that Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattva, you have to follow these things. That's all. If you follow these things, I can only tell you that I can assure you that you will reach that path. A man who has walked the path from here to the next point, he knows the road, he knows the difficulties, he knows the forests in between and aranya in between and all that. He can explain you, look, when you go after 15 kilometers, you will find an aranyam, you will find a forest. Then while crossing forest, you should do this. But after crossing the forest, don't follow the same as you have followed what in the forest. There it is different. That is a village, it's a gramam. So in that grama, you have to behave different. All these explanations will be given by the Guru. Accordingly, you just follow that. This is called discipline. Not that you in Aranya also you walk like this, in Grama also like this, and no, it's not that. That's not the discipline. Whereas in the Bhautika Jivan, the discipline, what we say is that almost like disciplining a person. We have got a language, that disciplining a person. We don't have a language of disciplining a person in Vedanta. No. In Vedanta, it's only that a person who attains jnanam, acquiring jnanam. There is no discipline there. In order to acquire jnanam, the discipline, what we mean in the Vedanta is that you have to follow certain path, then only you will be achieving jnanam. That's all. If you climb the hill, you will not reach the sea. If you climb the hill, you will not reach the sea. In order to reach the sea, you have to go this way. You have to reach, if you want to go to the hills, you have to go this way. That's all. This is called the discipline in Vedanta. Huh? You got it? So the discipline is not imposing on something on you, is called that discipline. Because that swatantrata is, we want to achieve that swatantrata. Swatantrata from what? Swatantrata from the botheration of the past. Swatantrata from the execution of karmas in the present. Swatantrata from the expectation of the future. Swatantrata from all these difficult ignorances. They are all ignorances. Swatantrata from all these ignorances is what is that necessary. So he said, Swasmin atiti iti swatantra. Swasmin atiti iti swatantra. So asmin atiti, beyond the individual who am I at present, is called swatantra. That's all. Very simple. The one who am I now is not that what I want. Beyond that atiti, no, beyond that is called the swatantrata. I am the one who is entangled. But beyond that me is called Swasminnaditi Swatantrata. This is the Swatantrata what we require. This is what is called the discipline, that what we require. So you understand the discipline is that? Discipline is not imposed as we normally understand that. A discipline in an organization, discipline in a company, discipline in a society. No, in a society there are disciplines. Okay, whether you like it or not, in order to be in the society, you have to do that discipline. Is it not? So same thing happens with the Swatantrata. The Upanishads and the great rishis and tapasvis and jnanis have told us in order to attain this, we will have to follow certain path. As I told you, in order to attain that, Indriya Nigraha is required. I'm just reminding all this. Indriya Nigraha is required, and for attaining Indriya Nigraha, you have to have the purity of the mind, as I told some time back. In order to attain the purity, what happens? How will I attain purity? I have got a lot of things inside my mind. How will I empty them? Yes, you cannot empty them. If you want to empty them, you cannot empty them. The more you dig in that, the more dirt will come out. So I have told them, beautiful method, not I, of course. Somebody has told, great saints, great jnanis, great tapasvis have told a great, beautiful, wonderful method which I have explained here, is that if you have got a dirty glass of water, you keep on pouring good water in that. At one point of time, there will be no dirt. Even in a lake or in a sea, keep on pouring good water. At one point of time, all that dirt water will go out. Similarly, the principle of discipline, in order to attain that purity of the mind, there is the only way how to attain the purity of the mind. That's why they say that you attend this, you do this satsang, you do that, you chant mantras, you do puja. All these are meant for that. But follow the right path. Don't look at the easier path. We all look at the easier path. What is the best way? Okay, somebody said no, bhakti is necessary, olden days bhakti is necessary. So very strictly they followed the bhakti. Early morning, whether it is a small child, we all did, when we were small. Whether you are a child, an old man, or a grihastha, or a businessman, or an employee, or a man who is ploughing his land and in the fields. Every one of them, they went early morning, had a bath, went to the temple, prayed with their wet clothes on, and then the pujari will give you that chandan and all that. He will apply that with lot of bhakti. Then he will take his karmas. Bhakti started even before that. Some other way also yajna has been done, and so many patterns of bhakti has come. I am talking about recent bhakti. That's why I explained that. So with that it started. Gradually what has happened? Gradually what has happened is that today I cannot get up at 5 o'clock. So what happened is that I cannot go to the temple tank and have a wash, and then with wet cloth I cannot go. So let me wash my hands and legs like that, look like I have taken a bath, and you can pour little water also on the head, like if people go to Ganga and then put like that, Ganga naha liya. 4 बूंद लगा दिया तो अरे गंगा है, 4 बूंद और 4 लोटा क्या फर्क पड़ता है, एक ही बात है. अपना कन्विंस कर लिया. अच्छा, सो लगा दिया एंड हाथ मुंह धो लिया. Then he put on his new clothes and all that. He went to the temple, and slowly from there also little more deterioration started. Without slippers and all, he went. Gradually what happened, now that also he doesn't have time. Now he had a lot of things to do in the morning. So before going to his work, he puts on his clothes for the work, whichever work he is doing. And while going on the way, along with buying a pack of cigarettes, he will also go to the temple and open the shoe and then. One of the activity, one pan and one cigarette. Acha, inko bhi jara dekh lete hain. It has become that, now it is like that. On the way, let us just go there. On the way, the temple falls on the way. Not that he has to divert his route. He will not divert the route. On the way, if it falls on that, okay, let it be. It's all right. So he will go. See how our bhakti has deteriorated. I mean, it's okay. It's a ritual. I'm just telling you an example. How the mind has created his own convenience of indiscipline. This is called indisciplining himself, you see. Is it not? So what happened? Purity is necessary. Purity means that what you have decided in the beginning, let you maintain that purity. Because continuously you maintain the purity. Continuously you pour on the clean water. Then only the dirty water will be bailed out. Otherwise you cannot bail out that, Otherwise you have to pump it out. See, that's it. So, this is called purity. So purity of mind. Indriya nigraha, attractions, attachments, and vasanas, traits, vasanas, have to be stopped at one point of time. At least gradually reduce it with a lot of knowledge. How can one reduce the vasana? See, they are all very interlinked, that's a problem. Again you have to go back. How to reduce vasana? You have to have knowledge. Jnana is necessary. Somebody asks, why should I stop it? A simple question. An ignorant man asks, why should I stop it? I have vasana, I will continue with that. Tomorrow I would like to eat it. Tomorrow I would like to do it. Tomorrow I would like to achieve this. Tomorrow I would like to have this. I will have vasana. What is there? No. He is ignorant. See, he doesn't want to. So for that, you have to have jnanam in order to remove the vasanas, in order to have the indriya nigraha, and in order to achieve the purity, in order to achieve the indriya nigraha, and remove the vasanas from you. That means the vasanas are that expectation of the same happiness of the object from the same object in the future. Bhautika jivan, in that. So we said about the enjoyment of the externalities. That, what is it? There was something else I said. Yes. From the externality, deriving pleasure out of the objects. No? The pleasure is not in the object, we all know that. The pleasure is not in the object, but the pleasure is in me. I identify the object as pleasurable for me, so it is pleasurable. The same object identified by somebody else is not giving pleasure, it pains him. So it is not the object which is pleasure, it is you who is the pleasure. See, so what happens? Identification of the object has to be identified. That's why the indriya nigraha is, this is how indriya nigraha comes. That one has to understand the pleasure is not in the object, but the pleasure is in me. So I don't have to look at the object in order to gain the pleasure. This is how the expectation from the externalities can be curbed. How can you curb the expectation from the externalities? Identifying that the pleasure is not in the object, but it is in my temporary emotional status. This changing emotions, that which is absolutely temporary. Asthira bhava. Asthira bhava. We have to have a sthita prajna, sthira bhava. When I got a sthira bhava, that's called discipline. You understand the difference? Discipline. Each time I will tell you this discipline. I remove this asthira bhava and comes into sthira bhava by knowing, by having the knowledge, knowingly, that asthira bhava is not right for me, sthira bhava is right for me, is my discipline. This activity is called a discipline. Also called a discipline. You understand now? What is a discipline? That discipline in Vedanta is knowingly accepted by me, and then for a cause of my own promotion, I accept it and adopt it, is the discipline. This adoption of the identity, the purpose of the identity, the purpose of the adoption of that sthita prajna or indriya nigraha is necessary. Then only I will be in a position to identify I will be in a position to travel to my swasmin atiti. Swasmin. Swasmin. You must have heard, in the puja and yajna and all that. Swasmin is not. Lot of mantras. Swasmin you must have heard. Swasmin. The swadharma bhava. Swadharma, identity of the swa, identity of the aham, identity of the swa has to be done, so that I do not have to depend upon objective pleasures. I don't have to derive pleasures from the object, discriminating my thought, discriminating from the object and the subject. The power of discrimination, that which will give me pleasures, which doesn't give me pleasures. None of the objects will give you pleasure. No. That's why Ishavasya Upanishad starts with Ishavasya midagam sarvam et kinchena kinchita. Ishavasya idam sarvam. Everything, the vasa of the Ishvara. That means what? In everywhere there is a involvement of the Ishvara, or everything is Ishvara. Everything involvement of the Ishvara, or everything is Ishvara. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Very clear. Yet kinchena kinchita. How will you understand that Ishavasyam idam sarvam? So just by your telling, how can I believe it? By yet kinchena kinchita. So you just start really giving away things that what you have. It kinchena kinchita. That start giving away, start giving this, start giving that, start giving that. Ultimately, you will find that Ishavasya Vidamsa. That means renouncing everything. The renunciation of what? Renunciation of the attachment of the materialistic living. What's what? What can be renounced? That what you have acquired. That what you have earned only can be renounced. That what you have not earned cannot be renounced. Is it not? Because you don't have it. That what have you acquired? You have acquired the sharira, you have acquired the mind, you have acquired the material, you have acquired a house, you have got money, you have got this, you have got that. That give away. Yat kinchena. Once you start giving one by one, you will realize all those places are occupied by the Ishvara. Everything belongs to Ishvara. Upanishad doesn't say you do not enjoy having got your sharira and mana. You have a sharira and mana, that has to be accepted because you are there. You can feel it, you are there. That is there. That Jagat is there. Adi Shankara said, Jagat mithya, he said. It is not true, he said. It's illusion, he said. What is an illusion? Illusion is that I will be permanent in this life. My sharira is my body. My sharira is me. My mana is me. My wealth is mine. And this is mine, that is mine. This is what? Mithya. Nothing is yours. We all know that. We all say that. Everybody knows, even a small child knows. Khali haath aaya, khali haath jayenge. Is what a common, grandmother's story in all our houses. We all say we came empty-handed, have to go empty-handed. Probably we do not know. Even the hand is not there to know it is empty or full. While going, even the hand is not there. Forget about empty hand. Hand itself is not there. While going. Once it's all merged with the Panchabhutas, where is your hand? Give me a hand, no hand. He'll say. That's what it is. Oh, we nahi hai, nothing. So, this fact we all know. But still we are very much entangled and ownership has been established. That. Somehow or other we have to capture. Whole life, we are all fighting. People are fighting for all these small things. Anyway, we will not go into that. We understand what I mean to say that. So what I mean to say that is that we have to have the swatantrata. What is that? Discipline. We started with discipline. Then we wanted to have liberation. Liberation from the karma. That means the more I am keeping on doing karma, I keep on producing karma phalas. Every karma has got a phala. There is no karma which you can do without a result. Is it that? Right? That's a fact. No. It's a mathematical calculation and it's logically right also. Any karma you do, you have to have a result out of it. Now, there is what? There is where the jnanam is required. Because whatever we can do rectification, we can do rectification in only the sancheta karma. Neither in the prarabdha nor in agami we can do any correction. Because both are not in my hand. Sancheta karma we have to do. According to karma yoga, while executing the karmas, you will have to execute the karma dharmically without expectation of the results, they say. How can you do a karma without expectation of the result is what Vedanta explains. Ishavasya Upanishad explains, in fact, how to execute them. These karmas without expectation. That is where, again, that cannot be done. If I tell somebody 1,000 times also, if I tell someone, he will not accept it. What you are talking is absolutely not acceptable. Is what he will say. How will you understand? How will he understand? He will understand only when he gains the knowledge, when he gains the jnanam. When he gains the jnanam, then automatically he understands that I do not need any of these things. Gradually, I have to go to the renunciation process is called samnyasa. Sannyasa is that when you split up sannyasa, samnyasa. Nyasa is that establishment. Sam is that satyam. Sam means auspicious. establishment of auspiciousness is called samnyasa. That samnyasa has become sannyasa. We will be explaining it in our Upanishad, which will be coming after my introduction. Samnyasa. It's a beautiful word, Sannyasa is not that a particular group, particular thing. For everyone, the status of mind has to be samnyasa. Auspicious establishment of me. When auspicious establishment of me, that's called establishing me in Brahman. Sam. Sat karma. No, sam. Sam is what? Samabhavana. Sam. No, there are so many meanings of sam. But everything put together, I would call it as auspicious. Everything is auspicious. All the meanings are auspicious in that. Nyasa. Establishing yourself. Then only you will be in a position to identify, attain that process of liberation. When you do that. Anybody who is in the material life, who is only associated with material pleasures and material attachment, for him, whatever I am talking will be absolutely not acceptable. Because he always relates whatever I am speaking with logics, with experience of the materialism. You cannot compare an aeroplane with a cycle. It's not possible. Even though I may say that, you are cycling, the speed is this much, 15 kilometers per hour, but that goes at 950,000 kilometers per hour, and that is, empowered by the engines with motor and all that, and there is a fuel required. With the combustion, the fan rotates and the engine functions, and so that with the pressure deviation from inside the plane and outside plane, he is able to take off from the ground. All these explanations can be given. Cyclist will say, let me cycle, please go. मुझे अपना काम करने दो, ये सब मेरे समझ में आने वाला नहीं है, क्योंकि he has experienced only this. From this, if he has to put his mind into that capacity, difficult. It's not his mistake. How will a mind imagine that? Today you tell me, there so many people are, going by the, spacecraft, what do you call it? Spacecraft, spaceship. Okay. They have travelled and walked on the moon. We also have seen it in the television, we have studied it. Could I experience it? Could I? No. Only I said, yeah, I think it looks like they have done it. No. They are walking on the moon and all that. But did I experience it? Did I know that? Do I know that I can do it? No. I have never done it. No, I have never experienced it. Did I experience it? No. I don't have that knowledge. So, same way, in order to attain that capacity to understand what I am speaking here, that in order to attain that some nyasa status of mind, is not that you renounce everything what you are doing. No. You have a kartavya. That's why I will be coming to that also. Probably our introduction will go to the full chapter. That also I will come to. We will be coming to a stance of, I'll take care of a little bit of that also, I think. Now I got a better idea. So, a little more. Manusmriti. Smriti is there, Smriti, what are the Smritis? These are Vedantas and Vedas, Upanishads, Vedangas, Upavedas, and Upanishads, and Puranas. Mimamsas. Okay. Mimamsas are again logically experimenting it and proving it, Uttara Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Before experimentation, how it looked like. After experimentation, how it looks like. This experimenting, experimentation is that Mimamsa. There are different Mimamsas are there. Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa is there. I am telling you all this that so that you should be remembering all these things. You should know there are things like that. Okay, we don't know Mimamsa. I have not read any Mimamsa, to be honest with you. I have not gone through any Mimamsa. But I know what is called Mimamsa. That is good enough. It's okay. In order to attain, we are following the path of the Upanishads and Brahman and then the other things. So we go in that path because there are different paths. All the paths are correct, but I don't have to go through all that. If I know and if I believe, that is okay. I don't have to logically prove that Brahman is there, because today I have established my mind that Brahman is there. I don't have any doubt of that. Logically I don't have to explain, and Brahman cannot be explained. Any amount of Mimamsa reading or any amount of Vedangas or any amount of any other literature you read, nobody can show you or explain you what exactly is Brahman. Only an inference can be drawn. And if I can draw an inference through Upanishads and Vedas and the Shastras, what we are speaking about, which is good enough. But these are all documents available for. Why then so many documents are? So many people are asking, oh, in your this one, there are so many granths. You don't have to read all the granths in order to have a Brahmajnani. No. They are all meant for different kinds of people. Your mental status is that you will not believe unless it has been logically proved and experienced. He will say, read Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. Then after finishing that, come back here to Vedanta and then to Upanishad. Then you will understand what is called an Upanishad. You understand my point? Vedangas, Anga of the Veda, like Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, all those Vedas are there. Many of those Vedas are there. They are all part of that. Through that one can attain. A man who dedicates his life in Ayurveda. He treats patients, investigates, invents a lot of medicines, and through that he finds that the Sharira can be healed, and gradually he says that no, we have to ask the people to go under strict discipline and meditation and things like that, so that he can improve his health better. So he starts growing gradually from the Ayurveda to Veda. From Ayurveda, he gradually starts moving towards the Veda. How is that Sharira is getting healed? But by giving Sharira, I could not save him from death. Then, what can I give him from the death? No, the man who is practicing Ayurveda, he starts thinking like that. And gradually to understand that, from Ayurveda, that means Jiva Veda, Ayu means Jiva. From the Jiva, Veda of the Jiva, that means with. Veda is with. From the knowledge of the Jiva, you have to go to the knowledge. Then you will save him from the death. Is how he derives. You see what I am trying to tell you. So, through this practicing experience, this is called karma. Through karma yoga, he attains the Vedanta and Veda. So, what I am trying to tell you, in order to achieve that discipline of renunciation, or in order to achieve that samnyasa sthiti, in order to achieve that swatantrata, in order to achieve that liberation, that you have to attain the jnanam, and for the acquiring the jnanam, you will have to have that dedication and devotion towards attaining the jnanam. Dedication and devotion towards attaining the jnanam, so that you will be devoted and dedicated to the jnanam. When you have devotion and dedication to attain the jnanam, you will have dedication and devotion to the jnanam. And then when you have dedication and devotion, when you are dedicated and devoted to the jnanam, you become the jnanam. When you become the jnanam, you have kaivalya avastha, samnyasa avastha, liberated avastha, swatantrata you attain. From that status of swatantrata, what is swatantrata? That you are not influenced by any of those which is not you. What is swatantrata? You are not influenced by any of those which are not you. You are influenced only by you. That's called your own Atman, your own Brahman, is called swatantrata. Independent thinking, they say. From this itself we can derive. Not to take thoughts from others and do it. You do your own thinking and you do it. Independent thinking, you see. Same way, the independence not depending on others, independence. So that's what is the meaning of swasmin atita. Swasmin atiti iti. Swa asmin, it's a beautiful word actually. So asmin ititi, atiti. Beyond the me. How fantastic it is, no? That status that we cannot understand. Beyond me. That's why we don't get liberated. How will I get liberated? I have to start understanding what is this swasmin atiti. My status beyond the me, what I am thinking. What is the status of the me, what I am thinking? Beyond the me, what I am thinking is called the swasmin. Then only you will understand what is this me. When I am that me, then only I will understand what is this me. By being in this me, that me cannot be understood. Because that doesn't have a shape and form, and then the characteristics and gunas, you don't have the gunas. So I am independent of that. When I am independent of the truth, I am entangled with all this. When I am independent of all the entanglements, then I am the truth. This knowledge has to be established.